So good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Welcome back to the Mellow podcast. Today I have an old friend of mine, Mr. Zack Tew. How are you doing, Zach?
Pretty good.
Dude, it is so freaking good to see you, man.
It's been a hot minute.
Where are you at right now? I don't even know where you're.
Up in Tuscaloosa.
Far from home, boy. That must be spooky, huh? Being that far away from hometown.
4 hours it's a pretty good ride. It's not too far, but it's a long ride. But
You going to school up there or what?
studying mechanical engineering, so that's fun stuff.
Yeah, that just sounds like every southern job ever.
Yeah, basically.
So what do you want to do exactly?
Want to work in some sort of manufacturing plant producing some sort of good or service.
You have no preference.
Yeah.
You trying to get a good job for some money, for a solid future. Right?
Yeah, just want to have a good stable foundation and be able to have a good family and not worry about money. That's my plan.
Yeah. What are you doing for work right now?
Not really working, just doing school. I'm actually taking summer classes, so I'm burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. It's been great.
Bro, honestly, I'm glad to hear that you're not working, because even just in junior college when I was doing it, bro, I thought I was going to die. I mean, straight up thought I was going to die. What are how's your parents doing? How's everybody doing at home?
They're doing all right. Mom and dad both stay pretty busy. Slocum busy, so not really much going on.
What's Carrie doing?
She's up at Alabama too. She's doing accounting, so
Got you.
she likes it.
Bro, I remember when you graduated, she was like devastated. You remember?
Yeah.
Dude, she was like, "What are we going to do?
Yeah.
He's gone."
It definitely was rough for her whenever I went up there, but she's found a lot better place up there and is enjoying it.
She got some friends up there. Or?
Yeah.
So how many like local folks followed you over there?
One from my graduating class went, and I'm pretty sure he dropped out after a year.
Yeah.
So
that just seems like it's a tough school, honestly.
Alabama's pretty good.
It's the bee's knees.
Yeah.
He said it's pretty good. I don't know if that means it's good and hard, or if it's a good school.
It's a little bit of both.
True.
It depends on what you're doing. You can go up there and party, or you can go up there and work your ass off, or you can just. There's all kinds of options.
Yeah. What's it like up there? Up there. That's such a southern thing to freaking say, bro.
Yeah.
What's it like up there?
Well, the weather's pretty much the same as down here. It's a lot more people to deal with. Like, the campus probably takes up like half the population of Tuscaloosa, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, there's plenty to do, but most of it's all pretty centered around the university, and football is just even more of a cult following up there.
Bro, it's almost like a tourist type thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to college towns, it's like they build stuff around students, which you're not even guaranteed to have, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I don't know if you remember when I was working at that bar. They basically were exclusively advertising to people that worked at the hospital that was nearby. Hospital themed bar. Literally, the picture for the bar is a heartbeat. When you leave a hospital, where's the one place you don't want to be?
Work.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Like, in a college town, it's like just have an Applebee's. Like, it doesn't have to be like Bama Brawler's beer, Yeah. Was it tough? Was it a tough adjustment going from?
It really was. Freshman year was pretty rough. It was just kind of wild transitioning to having all these different things to do, so many different people. But I adjusted pretty well, I think. I mean, I made several friends, and I really enjoyed it up there. I
was wondering about that.
I really kind of feel like I found my own kind of thing, and I was able to really branch out some more, and I really enjoyed that.
Bro, you're honestly part of that weird part of my life where it feels like what's happening isn't real. Like, so stuff that happened before, so like Clay and Dylan and my mom and stuff like that. Like, all that stuff, still having them in my life, or with them being gone, either way, it would feel natural. But you were still a part of my life when Dad died. So when you moved away, it's like you didn't move away and this isn't happening. It's such a weird thing. Yeah. I'm sure that there's some psychologist somewhere who has a term for it.
Yeah.
But I was honestly nervous about like what type of folk you were gonna surround yourself with, because
Mm-hmm.
you've always been the type of dude that, I mean, when we used to have fires at your house or whatever, it would be like some emo kids, some nerdy kids, the one drunk baseball player.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it was always such a hodgepodge of people.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of people do you associate with up there?
I really try to just make friends with everybody
Yeah.
as much as I can, just similar interests, and I'm in all kinds of different clubs and stuff up there. I hadn't been doing as much the past year, so just trying to focus on school.
Right.
But yeah, I was in all kinds of different clubs. I really tried to branch out. I'm one of the I just like to do it all. So I
Yeah.
like to be friends with everybody and try to I was in the outdoor adventure club for a while. We literally just organized and went on hikes.
Let's go look at some trees, dog.
Yeah, let's go float down this river.
So I don't know how much of the podcast you've caught up on or not, but the guy that I had on my last one, Horatio, nobody that I know knows you. Basically, is basically
I'm a ghost.
Yeah, you're like one of the people that slip between the cracks of work and stuff like that. But I'm telling you that you would have a very similar impact on people that Horatio does, and that is a super high compliment, dude. Because if you watch that podcast, you'll understand. Horatio just has this impact, and it's ever since you left, I worry about you. I don't want to be like a needy mom, always bugging you, everything okay, sweetie? You need any Tizers or something like that?
Yeah.
But
that's one thing I do kind of regret is not keeping up with everyone from school.
Yeah,
and I know that's it happens, but it just is. It does kind of suck to kind of look back and be like, wow, I haven't talked to this person in 4 years, and it's well, damn, that's just.
Yeah, I try and at least keep up with you at least once or twice a year. I try and reach out to you, and I try and do the same thing for Cortland.
I hadn't talked to him in a minute either, man.
Yeah,
it's
dude,
been
Cortland is one of the easiest people to talk to.
Oh yeah,
he's the type of Christian that I love to talk about religion to, because I'm an open-minded Christian. It's not that I'm looking for a reason to disprove anything. It's just that I think that we don't understand everything that we do, and I think it's important to try and learn.
Yeah,
but I'm hoping I can talk him into coming and we have a good conversation. I don't know if you heard, but what I really want to do in the future is I want to get everybody that's been on the podcast in a big room, and we just have a big couch conversation.
That would be interesting.
Like maybe the 100th episode or something like that. I think that'd be
a big room.
Freaking sweet. Yeah. You're talking about renting out Waterworld, or because that's a whole. So inevitably, I do have to ask you, when's the last time you talked to Zach?
Probably a week or so ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because the last time that I had talked to you, you guys weren't speaking as much as I thought you would have been. Yeah.
We both kind of just went our separate ways for freshman year or so, maybe some of sophomore year. But then we were man, this is crazy. We need to get back together and hang out and talk some. So we actually are a part of a weekly D&D session that we do online.
That's cool.
So that's kind of cool. I've been enjoying
that.
That
Makes me happy to hear, dude, because you guys definitely had this weirdly special dynamic. You and Brady and all, just all of them. And I still hear from Brady every once in a while, because I try and talk to Clay at least once a week, just because he's up there by himself, and he's literally my best friend. But what would you say you probably got wrong about when you graduated? Is there anything that you thought was going to be a certain way when you graduated?
So I definitely wasn't expecting the way that college classes were going to go.
Yeah,
I didn't expect the really harsh shift from going to class for 6 or 7 hours a day, and then going home and being essentially done. Being up at school, going from back and forth class to back to the apartment, class back to the apartment all the time.
So dumb.
The whole day seems to go by, and you feel like you're always doing school up until you go to bed and wake up the next morning, time to go to class, and then there's just hours that go throughout the day where you're not really doing anything very productive, but you're still kind of doing something with school, and it just feels like
you can't drop everything and just not be doing something.
Yeah,
I definitely know how it went, because I know what that entire experience is like. And by the way, I'm so sorry. We're just sitting here talking. Zach's best friend in high school's name was Zach, in case you couldn't put context clues together. And I was formerly involved with his best friend's sister. So that's how I met him. That's how all this has come about. And, I just think it's important to have some sort of backstory. 'Cause,
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a conversation with you. But if people have no idea, how can they be interested?
Yeah. Because I think it was like, what, 10th or 11th grade or so
Probably.
that I met you?
Yeah, probably
And then,
so.
Yeah.
What's
about right.
funny is that, like, everyone that I met through that situation, I'm still friends with.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so weird how I went into that with one intention and then left with friends.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, dude. Because when you get into something, you know, the cheese, like, we'll stay friends, but it's like, you know, you can, if you guys end on bad terms, I mean, who wants to be friends with someone that's mean? And I'm not, and I'm not saying that anybody specifically was. I'm just saying, logically speaking, who wants to be friends with a booty head? But,
exactly.
Yeah. So, what is I know this is kind of random,
Okay.
but I'm curious as to how different your eating habits are as to how they were, because when I was in college, like, it was a joke because like, you eat when you can, bro. Like,
yeah. There's a lot of times where I'll skip breakfast or I'll skip lunch, and I just have, like, I'll double up on one or the other. I usually would pretty much always try to either cook something or go out and get something to eat that night, but it was just kind of get it when you can, and just.
Is it hard getting into places with it being a college town like that?
Not really. There's a lot of options for different food.
I don't think I've ever actually been.
It's pretty cool. I like Tuscaloosa pretty good bit. It doesn't have like a circle like Dothan. It's got more of just like a main strip, and then like
kind of like Troy maybe.
Yeah, it's kind of like Troy.
Kind
Kind of like Troy, and
but
then it's like a perpendicular kind of also road on there for university.
With more.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
That does sound kind of lit.
Yeah.
Honestly.
So I like it pretty good. There's like I say, tons of stuff to do, and football season is always a lot of fun. But this spring has been a little bit of a downer. That it is what it is. But
dude, I wonder how complicated it would be, because in the South, folks take football so serious. I wonder what it'd be like being an Auburn fan going to Alabama. Like, just keep to yourself type deal.
Yeah. Like,
without any sort of influence or anything like that. I wonder what it'd be like as an Auburn fan.
It would probably be pretty awkward, just because they really try to indoctrinate you pretty good, and you really don't go around bragging that you're an Auburn fan, I'm sure, because you don't want to get, like, booed or.
Yeah,
like,
and I wonder if your views on that sort of situation, I wonder if the way that you are from when you're raised until then changes when you go to college. Like, is it that impactful of a community? Is it so impactful that you change basically who you are to like a different team, you know?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
I wasn't really big on football until pretty much I went to Alabama.
Yeah.
I only was a fan of our Friday night football for high school.
Oh, yeah.
Because we were playing in the band.
And I'll be totally honest, dude, there's still nothing like it.
Yeah.
Watching your friends beat the heck out of somebody, there's just nothing like it.
It's just that little small town kind of football. That's a lot of fun, and I enjoyed that. But once it gets on the scale, whenever you're in a stadium with 100,000 people and the crowd is all yelling and cheering, that's a pretty powerful little event.
I went to I went to an Auburn game or two with my uncle when I was younger, and I will say that I definitely felt whatever sort of energy that was.
Yeah.
I was like, there's something and this is a little off topic, but I think it's still important to talk about. I think that there is things that are happening around us that we can't comprehend. Just on its own, think about the concept of just like physical and emotional energy. Just like, just as an easy example, like, think about a girl sitting in a recliner, maybe say 6 feet away, staring at you right now. You feel some sort of energy about the recliner's blue, by the way. You feel that tension, you feel that energy, and for some reason we can comprehend that. So The question is, what frequencies and what types of energy are we not able to comprehend? It's like people ask, like, do you believe in ghosts or aliens or whatever? Mm-hmm. And I don't even necessarily think that is an important question. What I think is important is there things happening around us that we don't see or can comprehend? Like a dog whistle. You can't hear a dog whistle, but he can hear it. It's like when your dog's barking in the middle of the night. What is he barking at? Yeah. I'm not saying it's a ghost, but how do we know that the superior form of being is not here already? We just can't understand what's happening, bro.
Perception is a crazy thing. Yeah, dude? Perception is a crazy thing.
And it's just, I think that a college football game is a great. I mean, that's a high dose of just raw, just energy and power, because it's like there's nothing more powerful than 100,000 people yelling for a team. I mean, literally, it physically changes the way that the team performs, dude. Like, it physically can.
It's crazy how, like, you think about like chemical, like some endorphins or something like that, or if it's like energy.
Yeah,
that's
like a primal,
never really
a primal
considered
thing.
that,
you're like. Yeah, you do it, and then all of a sudden you're capable of it, you know. Or like when you point your finger at a baby who obviously doesn't speak English, you point your finger, he's like, oh, like yeah. But yeah, so what, as far as like, I know that there's not a lot of free time up there. What are you trying to do to stay busy, especially during like times like this? You're back home, right?
So yeah, once classes ended, they actually announced it right before our spring break. So it was like, all right, well, heading on spring break, and we'll see you guys in the fall. So that was kind of crazy. It was like, we may come back, but probably not. But before we left for the Corona situation, pretty much just trying to find a good balance between getting enough studying done to pass all the classes and just hang out with friends.
Got to get through.
Yeah, got to get through.
Yeah.
Turning 21 was kind of fun. Seeing the bar scene in Tuscaloosa is kind of interesting, but it's a fun experience if you don't want to just go crazy. Yeah, that's not what I'm really about. Just going to have a drink with some friends and just enjoy yourselves.
Yeah,
watch a game.
It's
or something
basically
like that.
The same thing that you've been doing since I've known you, but now you drink.
Yeah.
And it's weird how human nature adapts that. Like, why is alcohol so important for a social setting?
It definitely isn't like necessary. It's just kind of, I guess it's the norm. But yeah, you definitely don't have to. There's been plenty of times where we'll just be playing cards at the house or playing poker up at Tuscaloosa with some of my buddies. We'll just be just playing some poker. Yeah, just hanging out.
I want to know at what point it became a social norm for that to happen. You know what I mean? Because I've been 21 almost the whole time I've known you. You've never seen me drink. I never provided alcohol. I don't. It's because I like literally find it pointless. I think that it only deters the experience that you're trying to have. Because it's like, if everybody's drinking, I guess I get it. But it's like, I feel like you could have had the same experience without anything being altered. You know what I mean? Because I seriously still think to the day that probably like top 10 favorite memories is like, one, the couple times that you rode over to my house, and then any time that I was at your house. I mean, it was just amazing. And like, I got along with your parents. I mean, it was very weird, because it was like, I'm old enough to where like your parents have to make sure they can trust me before they like turn me loose with you. But at the same time, like, you can look to me, but you don't have to learn from me. You know what I mean? Like you're like, what did you do when you got your license? Because it's like, I'm 18 or 19. I'm like, well, I mean, I got a ticket. That's what happened when you're 16. Yeah, it's just so weird, like how such a short difference in age or whatever. But so since you're home now, what are you doing at the house? Are you going and seeing people, or?
Not much. We're pretty much just trying to clean some stuff up around the house. That's been plenty of home improvement projects now that we're trying to stay home. But taking online classes, and
So you're still doing school?
yeah, I'm taking some classes this summer as well.
Yikes, dude! Can't even escape it when you're home.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to keep working because you lay stagnant, and it ends up taking 50 years for you to finish school.
Yeah.
Could have been a doctor at that point. What you been working on?
So this summer I'm doing some business classes. I'm doing some accounting and operations management, stuff like that. I'm getting a business degree as well, or a master's in business administration, as well as the engineering.
Dang, man,
so
master's, huh?
yeah. So instead of doing just the 4-year degree, I'm doing the quick 6-year degree.
Yeah.
And
Kill it. You got
I think it'll be a good combo.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
How much time are you having to spend on schoolwork?
A couple hours. I mean, probably not even every single day. Just a couple hours here and there, just trying to get.
Is it like one of them things where it's like this course is only available from X to Y, and you have to be in the classroom from that time?
So, I'm not going to the classes. They're all
yeah.
online,
I mean, like the online classroom.
Oh no, yes and no. We're not zooming in and like watching the lectures. It's just they pretty much are just going to release all the materials that we need, and then just kind of do it at your own pace.
I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
This Zoom stuff is super weird to me.
It really is. Toward like the very end of the semester, whenever they tried to get us like our very last couple of classes in and slot us in for those time periods, just like, why don't you just record the video and send it to us, and we'll email you any questions.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because people are probably less likely to do that. Just statistically speaking, as a student, I would not watch the video. But if you force me like to be in attendance for it, I'll at least put my face cam on and watch Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll have respect for you enough to have my face on the thing and not listen to you. How grueling is the homework? Because when I was taking online classes, it was terrible.
It definitely kind of is. There's a lot of just watch through this video, watch this lecture,
and you can't skip it, or notes. You need to know it.
Well, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure I need to know everything as far as to do the homework and quizzes and stuff. And I got a test in like a week and a half that I already kind of need to get everything ready for.
Yeah.
So
try and get after.
Trying to get ahead. I'm really wanting to see if I can get some stuff done before July, because I kind of want to do a little bit of traveling in July. So hopefully things will be kind of opened up back then. By then. So
we'll just have to see. I mean, what do you think, man? Do you think this is something more serious than people are making it out to be?
It's definitely a really serious thing. It definitely affects a percentage.
There's a lot of people not taking it serious, dude.
There's a percentage of the population that is in pretty serious trouble for it, and people that don't take it seriously, that just try to think that it doesn't apply to them, that spread the virus. That's a big issue as well.
So I take it serious because obviously I work in healthcare.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, bro, like if you're going to get it, you're going to get it. Because it's like, I mean, you could just do a trip through the drive-thru, get some supper, and get it just like that. But I didn't tell you about this obviously because like we literally talked yesterday. Yeah. But
hey, Zach.
Yeah.
You want to come over and do a podcast? Sure, that sounds cool.
I'm down. I just had like a huge scare with it. Like I was out all last week waiting on results because Kristen was exposed to it and she tested positive for it, and
wow,
I had seen her every day for like the past month.
Yeah.
And she called me and was like, "Hey, I'm positive. You need to go." And I literally I was at the hospital. I was cleaning the room and I just dropped everything and just walked out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, I'm positive," or Kristen's positive. I need to go. And they were like, "Okay." And like everybody was like, I don't know if they were all like panicking, but like I walked up to the desk and I told him, and I was like, "So do I go?" Or?
Yeah. What do you kind of do?
And they were all just looking around. And they were like, "First off, you need to get a mask." I was like, I didn't have one. So I was looking around and I tried to walk out the door. They're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm trying to go get a mask." And they were like, "Just take mine." And like as soon as all that happened, it was just like just everything spiraled out of control. So I left and went and got tested in Enterprise, and like the whole ride up there. I need to have my tonsils out. My tonsils are swollen.
Do too.
So, like every time I get sick, I think it's worse because my tonsils hurt super bad. And like when I woke up that morning, my throat was hurting, and I was like, So went and did the swab or whatever, and I made Kristen go and get swabbed again.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the first one was a false positive.
Hmm.
So I was out for 3 days, and in them 3 days, like, the apocalypse happened up there. Like, everybody was freaking out.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I've kind of taken the mantle of this old dude that used to be so what I do in surgery is I clean the rooms, I turn them over and transport. You know, it's basically just patient care.
Yeah.
But I've kind of taken the mantle of our old team leader, not necessarily being the team leader, but just like the things that he did to boost morale for the whole hospital. Like I buy 10-pound bags of lifesavers at a time, the wintergreen ones. Duh.
Of course.
Yeah. I give out wintergreen lifesavers to everybody in the whole hospital. I transport on every floor in the entire hospital, and I've given lifesavers to everybody in the whole hospital. Well, I'm positive all of a sudden.
Yeah. That's kind of
We're all in trouble.
Stressful.
Yeah. So everybody was just like,
Well,
patiently waiting to see.
Thank God it was a false positive.
Dude, seriously, like, can you imagine, like, the damage that would have done? I can't even.
Yeah.
Like, how many people is that? That's probably the whole hospital done from one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But I'm not saying that it's not real. All I'm saying is, like, I hadn't personally met anybody who had it, so I don't guess I can be a good judge of, like, what it's going to be like or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know anybody who's had it yet?
I think one of my relatives off in Texas got it, I think, and that he was like 80 something, 85, 89, I don't know. He was pretty old, and I think he did pass, but he had a lot of issues with a lot of other things.
They say it's a total attack on your respiratory system, which is so spooky, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even imagine. Like, dude, it's so weird that, like, this is killing people, like, that we love, like celebrities that we've watched our literal entire lives, and it's just like some random virus came out of nowhere and it's like people who have lived through wars and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's killing people like that. I mean, it's bananas.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about it. It just is one of the things we're gonna have to kind of figure out as we go along.
So do you think that are you thinking it's potential apocalypse type deal or no? No. See, it's funny that nobody seems to think so. Everybody takes it serious, but everybody thinks that we're going to get out
Defining apocalypse, I would say would be like 90% of the world's population dead. Yeah. So I do not think we're on that sort of precipice, so to speak. I think we're definitely...
What a big word.
Yeah.
Mr. College Boy over here.
I think we have a long way to go before we're in an apocalyptic scenario. But
Bro,
it definitely could be.
So if that's the case and you truly believe that, then explain to me how it ever goes away. How? Tell me. Lord,
I mean, I don't think it ever goes away. I think it just is like a flu that eventually we find some sort of vaccine for and get kind of used to it. I mean, people still get the flu. There's still no cure for the flu.
How freaking weird is that?
Yeah.
Literally, this didn't exist, and now it's going to be part of life forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's so sketchy to think about, like, other planets existing because it's like, what have they had to go through if we're letting a bat disease whoop us, bro? And I swear to God, like, maybe 6 to 9 months ago, I was watching a video on Facebook of this woman killing a live bat, chopping his head off, slicing him up, and then putting him in soup and eating it. Because that's where it came from.
Yes, I've heard a lot of so that it came from an animal,
from bats, in China is what I heard.
Okay, that's crazy.
And then I don't know which ones you watched, but Gieselman was talking about how there was a dude just like driving a truck around that had the virus in it, and he was just like giving it to people just because he's a real bad guy. I mean,
I don't understand how you could try to like get people sick like that. That's pretty
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
That's some Lex Luthor type bull.
Seriously.
Yeah. So, I'm curious. Throughout Zach's life, I can specifically remember whenever I met you, like your parents never let you have any consoles or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can't remember if you both did, but so one of you got a Wii. You or Zach did.
Yeah.
Did you get a Wii?
We both kind of got one. Finally got a Wii because it was an interactive video game.
Oh.
That was the whole difference. Finally got a Wii and used it for a while and got
It's a
bored of
Wii.
it. It got bored of it,
Yeah.
of course. And
Because, the first thing that you do when you say, hey, Timmy, probably don't smoke weed. I mean, Timmy's going to go smoke some ganj, bro. I mean.
Yeah.
But what was your parents' thought process when you were a kid about it?
they just didn't want me to be addicted and to just be obsessed with it, not do anything else. They wanted us to go outside and do other things. And I kind of understand some of their argument. I think moderation would have been a little more appropriate to kind of like allow it sometimes, but not all the time. And have a little bit of both worlds.
Which is super weird because, like, I've met your parents and their personalities don't scream, like, don't get an Xbox. It's kind of strange because, I think the world of both of your parents. That was just one of the weirder things. And I was always kind of curious, now that you're older and you can actually, like, respectfully and understandingly, I guess, you can explain to me, like, what was up with that. Because if I say, why don't your parents let you get an Xbox when you were that age, you'd be like, because they're stupid.
Yeah, because they're mean.
Yeah, because they're poopy heads.
Finally I think I got a PS4 right before graduated high school, and I actually sold that probably like
isn't
6
it funny,
months ago.
bro? It's kind of like after oh Lord, if Mom watches this, she's gonna kill me. But it's kind of like after I graduated high school and all, I started working at this brewery. Nothing about alcohol. Still don't mess with alcohol. But I tried a couple cigars, and so I got this really expensive cigar that this dude didn't want. I guess he was just gonna leave it.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to try it, see what it tastes like. Because I mean, I'd like, admittedly, I'd tried like Black and Mild and stuff like that when I was a kid. You know, it was whatever. But so I got this cigar, and there's a dude that used to work with me at the bar. He says that this is humanly impossible, but it's not because I did it. I literally took this like $90 cigar after my parents were asleep and smoked the whole thing in 15, 20 minutes maybe.
That is incredibly fast.
Yeah. Inhaled it.
Oh my gosh.
So what do you think happened?
I have no idea. Either it was a pretty light, mild cigar or something. I've smoked a couple after like a football game. That was like a tradition after we beat Tennessee every year. Knock on wood. We smoke a cigar, and so like I've had a couple of those. But that's like a 45-minute, hour-long commitment because a cigar takes forever to burn.
He said that I knew what it was at the time. Of course I don't, because I'm not like a any sort of cigar type guy. I'm a Pokemon guy, by the way, if you guys want to check out my eBay store at 2 Sets of Hands. But he told me that cigar that I had, it's impossible. He said that what he does is he'll puff on it for maybe like 15, 20 minutes, then they'll put it in a Ziploc bag, and then he'll go back to it the next day because it's such a heavy thing. So this is what happened. So I lit it in my room at my mom's house and was puffing it, smoking it out the window. By the way, I was of age. Like, I just want to be totally clear about that. I mean, I was old enough to work in a brewery, so it's not like I was a kid smoking a cigar. Not that it even matters, because every kid, I gotta tell you something that's super funny on like the only bad thing I've ever done. My mom doesn't know about this, so we about to spill some tea, boys.
Oh boy.
So you said, oh boy. So, I started smoking it in my room. I was just, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just like making faces when I'm trying to smoke it. So then I was like, I bet this is just like a cigarette. And I used to watch my granny smoke all the time, and I watched her go when she smoked cigarettes, like inhaling it.
Yeah.
So when mom and dad fell asleep, I went out and sat on the brick brick steps in the carport at my
Yeah.
mom's house, and I sucked it down in like 15, 20 minutes. So I stood
Golly.
up, could barely even stand up. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like my head weighed 1,000 pounds. Like I was like, so my eyes were almost it felt like my eyes were literally doing this. Like it felt like my eyes were going in different directions.
Imagine.
So I took like 2 steps, and then I fell like to my knees, and I got up and I had to run to the bathroom, and I threw up, and I laid down in my bedroom and passed out, just like passed out, black. Don't even remember anything for like the next couple days off of it. Like
That's crazy.
It was awful. God, it was so awful.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily have to, but I'm only trying to segue into the story I'm going to tell in a second. But were you a pretty obedient child whenever? Yeah, because it seems like you were for the most part. Like most people, most dudes get in trouble for like sneaking a girl into the house or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I've got a couple funny stories, and I'm basically telling you because you knew my dad and you know my mom, so they're pretty funny. So first one, okay, this one is the least bad of all of them. Do you know who Zack Cook is? The cop.
Yeah, I've heard that name. I can't remember his face right now, but I've
he's
heard that name.
He's a cop in Hartford.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he looks like he's Samoan or something. He's a super funny, super nice guy.
Okay.
He had a buddy who was like shooting videos for this magazine or something. I'm in high school. They're in college. So I you know how it is. You idolize people like that.
Yeah.
So I was probably in like 9th or 10th grade, and I had just kind of started playing guitar, and I had a couple of originals that I thought were good, not so good. So he texted me at like 11 o'clock at night. Of course, I should not be awake, and because I think I was playing zombies.
Sounds about right.
He said, "Hey bro, you want to come shoot a music video?" And I was like, "I'd love to. Let me ask my mom." He said, "Don't ask her, dude. Just come." I was like, "Oh, I can do that. Yeah, that's fine." So sorry, Mom. The only time I ever snuck out of the house. So I put, you remember my old white truck Barry that I used to? Yeah.
I remember riding around in Barry.
Oh, yeah. She's such a sweet little beast, that Barry, she was. So I put it in neutral and pushed it into the road, and then pushed it down just a little bit, cranked it up, and hopped in. Boy.
Sneaky.
Yeah. There's videos of it on, I think the website's called Vimeo. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple of, that's such a, why? It was like one of the first videos that they had ever made on Vimeo. Did you ever go to like any of those field parties that they used to have in Slocum?
Not really. I mean, I've gone to a couple. Most of the time, it's just something that we would host either at the house or around the house. But I never went to like
your
a bunch
parents were always so safe about everything.
We tried to just have a good environment to just have a good time, and we always liked to host. So I never really went out as much. We just kind of invited everyone to come over.
Yeah,
so.
I'm curious. Did your parents ever drink around you? I know I didn't know if that was like an exclusive thing for my family. Like my parents would not drink around me. Like my dad would if we were at the beach, but that's kind of like the only rule. I talked about that in one of my podcasts. Like I was already out of the house. I mean, the first time I saw Mom drinking when I was in college. I mean, it's so insane.
Yeah, no, they did around me whenever we were younger, and me and Carrie, but it was just like a moderation kind of thing.
I mean, I know your parents. I know it wasn't like a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you have some of the most wonderful parents. I mean, it's insane. I used to tell your mom all the time. I was like, God, I wish you were my mom.
I remember that.
Yeah, dude. She's so great. I said she was because I'm so used to talking about my dad that way. She was such a great lady. So blessed to know her. You mean is because she's sitting out the house waiting on me right now?
Yeah.
But so you got your girl with me. So she lives where?
Demopolis. So she's a little south of Tuscaloosa.
Sounds like a town from DC Comics.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Doesn't it? Demopolis.
Yeah.
Or a weird deep sea creature. So she's staying with you in
Yeah.
Slocum?
She's down for a couple of days a week or so.
That's so nice. Ugh.
It's been good. That's what we've tried to do is because staying at each other's houses were like separate. That would have been just a little too difficult just for the whole of quarantine. So what we try to do is kind of bounce back and forth for about a week or so.
If it's close to Tuscaloosa,
Mm-hmm.
what you said?
Yeah.
So Tuscaloosa's 4 hours. How far from Tuscaloosa is it?
It's about an hour. It's an hour from Tuscaloosa.
Is it so? If Slocum's here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is Tuscaloosa,
Mm-hmm.
is
Tamalpais is like right here.
Dapalapa? Okay.
Yes.
Got you.
Pretty close.
Yeah. I was gonna say, is it like towards Slocum Way? Is what I was basically getting at.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's
like 3 hours, 3.5 hours from here.
Oh yeah, dude, that makes it so much better. I was thinking it was like further away.
No, yeah. If it was 5 hours, that would be even more.
That was why I was like, dude, that's super sweet.
Yeah.
So I will pose you the same question that I asked my cousin Cade.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, dude? Because like older people always have a different opinion on it. Do you think that building a relationship through like worst case scenario, meaning like the coronavirus and all that, do you think that it's worth say that she's confirmed like right now? How long have you guys been talking?
So I've known her since freshman year up at Bama,
Okay.
but we've been dating for about 5 months.
Okay. So 5 months is a pretty good number. I would say let's just think back to 2 months, like when you're still like learning every day about each other.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth, like, she's got it, right? She's confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's worth getting it at that point so that you can still have that bond? Because that is one of the most important parts of the entire relationship.
Yeah.
That is the incubation period, if you will, of a relationship. What do you think, man?
I've known her for, like I said, for quite a while, and I've tried to get with her for quite a while, but she had an ex that was a little lingering.
He was being a little booty, a little poopy head, if you will.
Finally, she came around to a better, much better situation with me, and so like I said, I've known her for a long time. But if 2 months in she would have had it, I would have gotten it too, just to where I could have gone ahead and built up the antibodies.
That's what I thought. Yeah. I'm not even like talking about like that. I'm just strictly like, is it worth getting sick to still build a relationship? Your parents and your grandparents will tell you no, and
that's interesting.
Daddy Cheese will tell you yes.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause love, baby, love is something sweet, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
Goodness gracious. Have you seen the freaking meme where it's the preacher man and he goes, "Love is a baked sweet potato."
I have not seen that one. I'll have to give that a look.
Baked sweet
potato.
Like literally no context at all.
That man must really like his potatoes.
I'm telling you. So I'll tell this one last little mom and dad story, just because I think that you will enjoy this sentiment, because we don't ever get to talk, and it's kind of nice talking about dad a little bit. So no names, gonna try not to. So all I'll tell you is my buddy Andrew came over. Andrew King. He came over to my house. He was just gonna stay the night. We were probably like maybe 9th, 10th grade, maybe 15 years old, 16 tops.
Yeah.
So Andrew's playing zombies or whatever, and this was like right when I first got into it, bro. Oh, yeah. 9th grade for sure, because you know that I was serious.
You were dude, really on up there.
Yeah, it was a real deal for me.
Oh yeah,
like 16 hours a day.
The world leaderboard. I was
dude,
like, what the heck?
For the first time, I don't have to tell somebody. You can tell these people.
Yeah. Like,
people don't ever believe me, bro. Like, I was super high on the leaderboards, dude. So, all that's because of Andrew. He came over and he played Keno. You remember Keno from Black Ops. Mm-hmm. He came over and played Keno. And I was like, man, I got to try that. Got like round 3, and I was buzzing, dude. I was buzzed. I was like, bro, I got to learn more about this. So, got into it, and then I learned the Easter egg song on Keno. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, dude, so good. So, anyways, long story short, I'm watching Andrew play, chilling, texting his girl, because that's what boys do, especially when they're 15 and 16.
Oh yeah.
She's like, Well, I mean, shoot. I'm 16. I'll pull up. I was like,
Okay.
that's a big bet there, bud.
Yeah.
So she pulls up. My parents are asleep. Obviously, it's like 11 o'clock at night. So I'm like snuggled up on the couch without my parents knowing with some girl when I'm 16. My dad walks in his tighty whities. Okay, he just wants something to drink, bro. It's the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's about to say. He walks through the kitchen. You hear the,
Yep.
and every house has that door.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, Crit, come here."
Uh-oh.
And I was like,
Here we go.
"Well, walk into my death."
This is the end.
He said, "All right, let me get real close." He said, "Look at you, bro." He said, "Who's that?" I was like, "That's Sally Mae." "Where'd you meet her at?" I met her at Herman's. And you were there. You
Yeah.
look. I don't need to look. I was like, "Oh," and he said, "What time's she leaving?" I said, "Don't know. Hadn't made it that far yet." He goes, "Have her gone before your mother wakes up." Turns around, walks back to bed.
Wow.
My man.
10 out of 10.
My man. I will on my deathbed I will tell that. Like, if I ever become a father, because it's kind of looking like I might not. I'm just getting so old. Didn't realize that was up there the whole time. Bit of a yikes there, bud. Like I feel like I'm 115 years old now. I don't know if I'm going to procreate, because I don't know. So I just hope that one day I can have one moment like that.
Yeah.
So have your parents ever told you like their favorite thing that you did when you were a baby or whatever?
Yes.
Okay, tell me, bro.
All right, so
I've got to know.
So whenever I was probably like a year and a half old, they said I was playing in the sandbox, okay, and that I went over to the water hose to wash my feet off. They had never showed me how to use it. They just said that I walked up to it and was just like holding onto the wall to catch myself, and happened to land on the knob,
Mm-hmm.
and it slowly cracked a little bit and started dripping, and I was like, little baby Zach's like, "What is this?" And he was like, "Okay, well, here we go." And I turned it and stick my little feet up and wash my feet off and turn it off, and they were like, they just thought that was precious because I figured out how to use a water spigot by myself.
That's actually kind of sweet, dude.
Yeah.
What have they ever told you what your first word was?
I don't remember that.
Mine was golly.
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 That sounds about right.
Golly. Shut up, dude. Don't make fun of me on my own podcast.
No. Oh, man.
You know what? My dad said that his favorite memory is my mom was going to beat me up so bad for this episode, dude. So I just set the scene for you.
Okay.
We're riding the strip. Panama City Beach, Florida.
Of course. Of course.
Billboard. Maybe 1998. Hooters. Okay. The scene is set.
Mm-hmm.
Riding down the strip. Dad's just cruising.
Mm-hmm.
Mom's in the back listening to Alice in Chains. Of course, it's the 90s.
Of course.
I look up and say, "Look, Dad, boobies." I had to be like 4 or 5 years old, dude.
I was just born in 98.
Yikes, dude. Oh, no,
Yeah.
why are you dating me like that?
Yeah.
Dude? So have you been ingesting any media lately that you wanna push?
I really like D&D. I started listening to or watching a YouTube series for D&D, Critical Role. That's pretty sweet. I think it's a lot of fun.
Is it a podcast or
So they have like a podcast version and a video version, but basically just like a group of people hang around a table. They play a game for a couple hours, and it's like a really good time,
dude?
But I think D&D gets a really bad rap. Everyone, especially probably 10 years ago or so, 15 years, everyone thought it was just some really weird stuff. But all it really is just making a character and playing that character, rolling some dice, and it's really like a make your own adventure kind of thing, which sounds kind of cheesy, but it's actually, I think it's really fun. It allows you to be kind of creative and just do whatever kind of you'd like to do, or whatever you think that character would do. So I really enjoy watching it and learning more about it. It's a lot of fun, and recently started playing in a group in a game with a group that meets every week or two. So that's been pretty nice, just to kind of stay stay kind of on tabs with everybody.
I don't know why it just makes me so happy hearing you say that you're doing things like that. I'm so happy that you're doing all of those things.
All the things.
It's just I think that you deserve more than you have. I don't know, man.
Well,
I hope that everything with your career choice and all that. I hope that it all goes as smoothly as I know that you're capable of making it be.
I appreciate that.
So at the end of every episode, I do a recommendation, and I think that today's recommendation isn't any media, even though I do want to plug our socials for my Pokemon. If you guys want to check out some Pokemon stuff at 2 Sets of Hands on socials and on eBay. But I think that for today's recommendation, I think I had an album picked out that I wanted to say, but I think it's even more important. I think that I recommend for everybody to just today or any day this week, don't put it off, create something. It doesn't matter. I think it's so important to express yourself in a creative way. You know what I mean? Whether that be write a poem or paint something. Heck, maybe even buy Pokemon cards and create a YouTube channel called 2 Sets of Hands. We appreciate you checking us out. But with that being said, man, I appreciate you stopping by the podcast, brother. And with all that being said, I guess we will look forward to talking at you next time, right?
Yeah.